Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. Whilst we were all a bit, it was party time yesterday at Ibrox, wasn't it? And there's quite a few people with hangovers today. Quite a few Celtic fans on my Facebook were at the Player of the Season Awards last night. We'll talk about that in just a second. But the breaking news this morning is kind of broke yesterday. The bad news. The bad news is that Cameron Carter-Vickers will be sidelined for a couple of weeks with a hamstring issue. The USA international has played the full game yesterday. He's now going to get a couple of weeks off, the same as Alistair Johnson. Will all the Celtic players be ready? And ultimately, will they be fit? And will they have enough time off this summer to repair the body? And ultimately, it comes down to, is the Celtic squad big enough? Is the current Celtic squad big enough? Brendan Rodgers has spoke about many times about having a smaller squad, but that smaller squad does come with its own issues. The fact that Cameron Carter-Vickers is our number one defender, whether you like it or not, he is our number one defender. We need him for the game at Hampden. Dane Murray is also out, which means we're going to be left with Mark Norobski and Austin Trusty and Liam Scales as it stands at the moment. Will Alistair Johnson be fit for the final? We hope he is. Will Cameron Carter-Vickers be back and fit just to get over the line and try and win that game? It shows that there's going to be an interesting summer. With Jota out for up to 9 months, Celtic were linked with a winger at the last transfer window. We'll see how that one kicks off. Brendan Rodgers went on to say after the Glasgow derby yesterday, which was ended in a draw, that Cameron Carter-Vickers needed an injection, and he will need an injection for his hamstring issue, and the idea is just to get him to the cup final in the best possible place we can. In terms of players getting minutes, we'll probably have the likes of Cameron Carter-Vickers out for a couple of games. He's been playing with that issue, and hopefully we'll just be able to get him over the line. The same for Ali Johnson. Hopefully the both of them will be ready for the cup final. Dear God, that's where we're at. It is a showpiece of the season. It is the game that everyone wants to go to, everyone wants a ticket for, and ultimately it's the game that can win us a treble. One player that won't be partaking in that game will be Jota, but will Celtic go back for a player in the Strasbourg forward, Sondre? We tried to get him before we went for Jota. They wanted 7 million for the player, but ultimately Celtic didn't get him. They value the winger at around about 7 million. Will Celtic go out and splash that kind of cash on him this summer? I think that Celtic will go into the transfer market massively this summer. I think that depending on who gets sold, we need backup. We need better players, and just having Kieran Tierney coming in this summer isn't going to be adequate enough. But as we finish off this season, it's that time of the year where you get to the Player of the Season awards. There's a player that's been linked with Celtic. He won the Young Player of the Year award after his impressive season, and the captain of Motherwell, Lennon Miller, and the reason we're talking about him is that he has been linked with Celtic. Will he come to Celtic this summer? Will Celtic put a bid in for him? Is it the type of player that we need? Can he make us better? There's probably question marks over that. But if we do lose the likes of Rio Hatate this summer, maybe the 18-year-old who got into the Scotland squad this year could be an ideal candidate for the future for Celtic. But will he come to sit on the bench at Celtic? I don't think so. The fact that he did win Young Player of the Season was fantastic for him, but when it comes to Celtic, it's all about Dyson Maeda, doesn't it? Dyson Maeda won the Premiership Player of the Year. The 27-year-old has been on fire since Kyogo Furiashi left. Not just since Kyogo Furiashi left, let's be said. He's had a fantastic season, has Dyson. With only 2 years remaining on his contract, there is a fear. That with that type of contract left that it is rich picking times for Celtic. Could he be moved on this summer? Will a bid come in for him? And can Celtic ultimately hold on to the player? We didn't replace Kyogo Furiashi in the last transfer window. We brought in Jota. He was not a replacement for Kyogo Furiashi. We still need to bring in a striker this window. Maida saw a challenge from his teammates Callum McGregor and Nico Kuhn, as well as a Dundee player, to win the Scottish Player of the Year award, scoring 16 goals, and I think he's on, 10 assists, I think? I can't remember. He's played over 30 odd matches this season. He's absolutely prolific. And he's a player that Celtic... We always say that, it's hard to replace players. We haven't replaced Kyogo. But Dyson Maida is a player that there's no one in this current squad that we can replace him with. Now, I know talk of a transfer for Dyson Maida is premature, especially before the end of the season. But the reality is that he does only have that 2 years left on his contract. And Celtic don't have the best at getting players tied up with that amount of time to go, do they? I mean, look at the Greg Taylor scenario. Greg Taylor's managed to get to the end of the season with Willie won't he? He's not going to sign a Celtic contract. If he signs a contract now with Celtic, it'll be the biggest turnaround. And Brendan Rodgers said a few weeks back, he says, look, when you get to this time of the season and they've not signed a new contract, generally the player doesn't sign the new contract and they go look elsewhere. Fair play to him. He was taken off yesterday. A lot of people are saying that he should never play for Celtic again. I think he will. I think he'll play in the cup final myself, just because Brendan Rodgers likes and knows Taylor and knows what he can bring to the team. Because let's face it, I don't think that Jeffrey Sloop is the answer. Do you really think that Jeffrey Sloop is the answer? I mean, are we saying that he's going to be back up to Kieran Tierney on the wages that he's on? He'll have a decision to make his own. I don't even think Celtic will offer Jeffrey Sloop a contract in the summer. Not in the type of wages that he'd be looking for. I mean, the drop down from 60 grand a week to around about 10 to 15 to stay at Celtic for a few years could be enticing for him. You never know, but I think that he's still got a big move and a bigger financial payment to come his way down in England. That's just my own opinion. Tell me yours in the comment section. Obviously, there was a lot of news kicking around yesterday about a banner. If you go into the community tab, you'll see one of the banners that the Zombies did put up, and yeah, it's a bit bizarre, but check that out in the community tab. And Player of the Year, Dyson Maida. Could it have been anyone else? It was always going to be Dyson, wasn't it? Anyway, on that note, that's just a short video this morning. How's your head? Are you got a little bit of hangover? I certainly am. On that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.